I'm a rising senior at the Trinity School, and I built a robotic ball retrieval system, a robotic ball boy. What it does is it sees colors, this camera right here. So we can see the color of this green ball or this orange box. And then I coded it to go to the ball, use this clamp to secure the ball, and then move it to the box. And the idea, and this is part of why I built the project, is that if you think of a tennis court, you have 6 ball boys, right? You have 2 at the net, and then 2 on each side. And it's not fast enough to work at the net, but it could pretty easily do the job of the ball boys in the back. And so I built this because I wanted to make something that had practical applications. This is my 2nd year at Bluestamp, and so part of that task is not only building maybe a more advanced and challenging project, but to also build something that has practical application. And there's a PowerPoint that goes into depth more about this on my website if you want to check it out. I'm not going to go into it right now. I'm not going to demo it on here for a couple of reasons, so I'm going to move it down there, and Joe is going to get this working and then project it up here if anyone can't see as is. But basically what it's going to do is it's going to move this green ball into here, and the idea is that it can move a tennis ball to a specific place on a tennis court and replace ball boys, saving the US Open money and making money. Yeah. The lighting here is not ideal, so it works most of the time, but not ever. So that time it didn't go. Give it a little more effort. And then I have a video, because the sun just went down, in case the lighting is really messed up, I have a video on my phone of it working for me, right? Just in case. Okay. So I'm going to pull up the video on my phone, and Joe can plug it in and show you guys. I think the reason it didn't work right now sort of explains the greatest challenge I have with this project, which is that a camera or your eyes or anything like that sees green in different shades in different ways at different times of day. So for example, if I would work in the hallway or the classroom in here, I had to reassign the colors and take new pictures of the box and the ball with my computer and the camera app, which is a pretty big ordeal. So for example, when the sun went down, the lighting here sort of shifted. And so adjusting for that and making it work as well as it could in a lot of different situations was probably the biggest challenge I had. I think my reflection, especially on the fact that this was my 2nd year in Bluestamp, is that it's a well worth it thing to do. I think last year I built a remote controlled hovercraft, which is cool, little toy, but it doesn't really have any application. And I think that sort of being forced to push yourself a little harder and make something that you could really use is definitely well worth it, and I'm really glad I did it. If anyone has any questions.
So you thought about maybe putting like a clock in it so that it can know what time of day it is, so that it can change what input it should think it should get?
I can do that. The problem is the camera can't. So the camera is actually not great. I wouldn't recommend it. I had to sort of shift projects because its capabilities aren't spectacular. And another thing that it can't really do is adjust things like the way it sees the colors through the Arduino. You actually have to go into your computer and plug it in and redo that. So it would be cool, but it's not worth it. Yeah.
Is it possible that you could incorporate the same thing on a different board, on a different programming board, like Raspberry Pi? Or
yeah, so I would have used something like Raspberry Pi, which is a bit of a faster microcontroller. Although the camera does computer vision for me. Computer vision is essentially recognizing an object. And so it would have probably worked a bit better on something like that. I was just more familiar with Arduino, and Arduino is much simpler than those other microcontrollers. So I think that's why I chose it. Yeah.
Is there any way, like, would it, like, in theory, go all over the court, just picking up balls?
Yeah.
And
So
how would you keep it from tripping the player?
well, the way it works, yeah. So the way it works, and the way I actually had it going today for a little, didn't have it going well enough to show here. It also would have taken way longer. Is what it can do is so it spins 360 degrees and it goes straight. And it does that over and over, and it's constantly looking for a green ball. And then it sees one, and it gets the ball, and it moves it back to the box. And the way that you know it's never going to run into like a tennis player is that, so imagine a tennis court, you have like a range, right? The white line in the back. And if the robot's right in the middle, just because of the range that the camera has with the colors I've chosen, it wouldn't go far as to interfere, and it also wouldn't see like a tennis ball that was in play, because that's moving way too fast for it to recognize. So it would pretty much just pick up balls that were stationary, and it wouldn't really get in the way of the tennis players at all. You could also make it so that if it saw a white line, it would move away, but it's not really necessary.
How much is it a function of camera? Like if you had a much higher quality camera, would it then work, or do you need some other mechanism like what Joe was saying, of detecting time of day, or is it a combination of the two?
For this type of thing, it's not that bad. If I reset the time signatures every time, then it's pretty much 100% accurate. That's just a hassle. And I mean, for a company like the US Open or Wimbledon, that'd be well worth it, just to do that before the match.
Do you think of this as sort of the Uber for tennis? You're going to place all the ball with.
Yeah.